1191.
19-1, jump to 34.
Delta 1762, you're going to follow the JetBlue Zulu and monitor 1191.
Alright, follow JetBlue Zulu 19-1, monitor Delta 1762.
Is it Monday? Is it Monday? Excuse me. Good Monday morning. I'm John Fly. Kind of excited today. Testing a few things in conjunction. Hope you guys are all well. We have several in the chat room. Macy J, 84K. Good morning. Claret 66. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Puff MTD 123.
Delta 107 heavy 323, one right.
Tar 56. D Money's 327. Grau Adler is here.
107 heavy. Kennedy Tower, wind 29032, gust 38, runway 2 right, clear to land, wind shear gain a loss of 15 knots and 200 feet to the surface.
Wind shear. See, Cajun.
Zulu 1191, she'll give you the final sequence. You have a good day.
Cajun Cacti, C206 stationaire. We also have Bender. Good to see you, Bender.
Wind 29033, gust
Been a little while.
41, runway 2 miles for takeoff.
Zulu 1191, she'll give you the final sequence.
Also have
Kennedy Tower, runway 2 miles, line up and wait.
Tadeo. Tadeo 737. Ryan 83B.
429 Kennedy Tower, caution wake turbulence on heavy bones 7675 miles ahead, wind 29034, gust 41, wind shear gain a loss of 15 knots and 200 feet to the surface. Runway 2 right, clear to land.
We got Andrews Norway, PH Kim. Also, the Working Fault. Welcome. Cactus 683. Asmarts. Bonanza 36 pilot. Morpheus Fadal. We have also Ramboragi. You're not here. X-Plane 1972. Welcome. T-Storm 1986. Swinners 44 and Glocky. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm in the 737 MAX. The technical name. What is it? Ultimate 737 MAX-8. We were able to do some testing yesterday with Prozac, the real world MAX captain. Gave some feedback to the team. That was a fun flight. Tadeo, yeah, I really do like the MAX-8. It's a work in progress.
Double 34, Yankee transition, contact New York departure.
Yankee transition over to departure.
So I'm being, it's something that's not, fully baked. But it's functional. I was able to do some flights around Chicago, O'Hare, and Midway. Yeah. Yeah. For some reason, when I loaded it up at JFK this morning, I'm not at the gate, but that's okay. So yeah. So let's get right into it. Let's connect the GPU. And let's go battery on. And also, let's do... Ooh, it looks so good. We do have corrupted nav data, but that's okay. We're going to start the IRS alignment. We're going to do FMC. GPS left. Get that going. How you doing, Slight? Good to see you. I don't know if it has actual MAX-8 engine sounds. Oh, we got a battery problem here. Let's connect the ground power.
Are you ready to go?
Are you ready to go?
About 3 minutes.
KJFK. Yeah. Can you give me an out? We just did a pan around here, but here you go, Slight. We'll do it this way. This is an Alaska livery, by MB Liveries. It's a beautiful, beautiful plane. Got the GPU out. Also running live traffic, so we got real world traffic injected into the sim today. And I'm also using Xvision for the first time. And the first thing that kind of annoys me, I think it looks great. I think it looks great. But it appears to have...
I'm here about for probably another minute and a half, and then somebody's going to relieve me. So
it appears to have disabled my Lewis scripts.
If not, they're going to take care of you.
So
We'll go with you then for Jeopardy Second
I'm trying to figure out. I think there might be a way to enable type exclamation when if you want to know the answer to your question, Slight. Exclamation when. In fact, if anyone asks that question today, can someone type in exclamation when? That'd be awesome. So yeah, anyway, it disabled my Lewis scripts. So I lost the 3J FPS. And I also lost the my John Hayes, which I'm okay with, losing the John Hayes Lewis script. But I lost, you know, FS Economy, B2 volume script. Is there a way... Yeah, I was warned. You're right, B2, I was warned. I can just change the names back to Lua. Because I'm thinking your volume script shouldn't interfere. And I'm also thinking that my 3J FPS shouldn't interfere. So... But yeah, welcome Harvey Anderson. Thanks for joining. Yeah, exclamation when is the answer. Left aft fuel pump on. Let's start the APU up. Arm the emergency exit. Passenger signs to auto. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to name them back. But can I do that now, or and then reload the scripts, or should I just maybe do that on the next flight? Probably should just do that on the next flight. Or do you think I'm okay? Scripts can be loaded anytime. Okay. I may take the 3J FPS back in then. Let's take a quick look at the directory off camera here. X-Plane 11, resources, plugins, fly with Lua. It probably left them there, I imagine, and just disabled them. Yeah, it looks like it renamed them with a tilde. Is that correct? A tilde exclamation Lua. So I think I'm going to go up there and just rename that back. Especially the 3J and the volume control. So we're going to rename those back. I'll leave the volume script in. Okay, let's hopefully this works. So plugins, fly with Lua, reload. All right, cool. All right, perfect. Thank you guys for the help. I know I was warned. Yeah, Denny V95, how you doing? Yeah, it looks good. Ambaroa, how you doing? Hulkmania. Yeah, I was gonna fly another plane today, but then I thought, you know what? Let's just do some more Max. APU gens on. Window heat on. Trim air on. Packs to auto. Isolation valve can stay open. APU bleed on. We're gonna fly from JFK over to Buffalo. So I'm just gonna bring up the project fly. Bookings. And this, again, this will be off screen for a second, but might as well fly it. Yeah, you know, do some testing, try to give some feedback. All right, KJFK, just setting up my project fly, going to Buffalo. Quick flight, And I do believe I need to add a max to my project fly. Ooh, baby. Will they have it? They do, the MAX-8. And we're going to make this in Alaska Airlines. Registration is November 572 Mike. And the home field is always Salt Lake City for Project Fly. We had a real Max pilot in the stream last time. John Fly flew this beast. Yeah, it was so good. It was so good. Yeah, Grau knows Prozac. He's yeah. We're very, very lucky. All right, I'm gonna do that. Okay, let me just put in my route. We'll be Alaska 572 today, and the route is gonna be. Let me grab it. Yeah, it's B38M is the ICAO code. Yep. I actually had to change that in order to get my panel to work properly. It's not working fully. In fact, I'll show that screen here in just a moment. Just grabbing a route from JFK to Buffalo. All right, let's do that.
Oh, snack.
Oh, snack.
I just got hosted with the most dead.
We got a host, Lana. Thank you for the host, Lana Roo. Appreciate the host. Also, thank you. I think your name is Lana. Thank you for the posting on the John Fly Discord. Who are you? Section. Give us a little bit more of a background of who you are, what you do, what your little bit of your story. So thank you very much. Thank you for the host. Hope your stream went well. All right, I'm gonna bring up the Project Fly information. So there it is. Also gonna turn on the MCP cam so you can see here we've got course is functional. So if I look at the FM or the MCP and I rotate the course knob, you can see that working. The heading is working, altitude is working, but I can't get my speed to work. So I need someone who's a really smart person to come in and look at my Polypot Go Flight interface tool software and figure out how do I assign that data ref. Because I think someone who's got, you know, is a little smarter than I am will figure it out. Alright, so, but for the most part, we can use the heading and course and auto throttle and flight directors. Let's turn those off. Let's sync those up. Yep, auto throttle and all that works, so that's good. How long is this flight? It's not that long. It's only, what, 270 miles, something like that. It's pretty short. Yep. All right, let's turn on the fuel pumps. Let's turn on the flight directors. Oop, I'm gonna use the hardware panel to do that. One thing you'll notice the difference between the Max and the regular 7.3 is that the auto brake is now down below. So we're gonna put RTO there. Ooh. Let's see. Did I put RTS? Yeah, I did put. Okay. We'll program the FMC in just a moment. Alright, let's plug in a pressure flight altitude. 32,000. That looks a little bit different right there, the digits I noticed. What is the elevation at Buffalo? It's pretty low. Looks like 727. So we'll go to 750. And then we're going to put in KJFK. We're going to KBuff.
Okay, Denver 5360. Appreciate the report. You can continue via opposite ramp.
I think most of the information is on either their Discord or on the forums. I don't know of a standalone website, no. I'm going to put 16 in for my fuel.
Tower, on Airbus 320, wind 300 at 28, gust 38, wind shear report, gain and loss of 159.
Reserves there. Cost index of 40 today. 320 is my cruise. Cruise winds are 261 at 7.4. And outside air temperature minus 54 in the cruise. Here's the ISODEV, etc. Outside air temperature +4. No, Johnny Z, it'll be free. Yeah, it'll be a free. It's just like the Zebo. Okay, CG 24.1, trim 4.3, V1 is 122, VR is 123, and V2 is 136. Departure out of JFK will be runway 31 left. As we can hear on the radio today, they're doing 31 left departures. And it'll be a vector departure. So we'll go over to the route page. We'll just activate that. And then we're going to go to Neon. So November, Echo, India, Oscar, November. And then J223, airway. To Chords, Charlie, Oscar, Romeo, Delta, Sierra. Yeah, transatlantic flights with the MAX. I won't be doing them because some of you guys know I don't do long haul. I break out in hives if I have to do more than 500 miles. J132 to ULW, Uniform Lima Whiskey. This is a real world route taken from today, actually. And then we're going to Benny, Bravo Echo, November, Echo Echo. Benny, and then to direct. As far as possible runway in Buffalo, let me do a METAR command here for Buffalo. What command is your MCP currently set for speed? That I don't know. I don't even know where to look. Should I bring up the Polypot software? And then you can take a look at it? I don't have the data ref editor tool, though, to go diagnose where the... Because there must be a difference in the regular Zebo versus the MAX with regard to that reference point. But yeah. All right, the METAR for Buffalo is 270 at 18, gust 33. Whoa. So probably ILS 3. Would I go 3-2 or 2-3? 50 degrees off versus 40 degrees off. So I'll do ILS 2-3. Let's take a look and see what the best initial routing would be. So Buffalo. Oop. Oh, that's doing Route Wizard. Never mind. I don't want to do that. Airport. K-Buff. Oh, I need to connect my Navigraph. Alright, so let's do that quickly. So plugins. And let's do AviTab. Toggle tablet. Let's close that. Navigraph, link Navigraph, open browser, and log in. Laminar B738 toggle switch SPD underscore ref underscore adjust. Okay. I might look at that actually. Alright, so Navigraph is now connected. The other thing we're going to be doing is, watch this. This is so cool. We're just going to disconnect. Oh, let's bring that over here for the moment. Oh, I kind of like that view. Airport, K-Buff, enter. Now we have... Oh, we got to close that. Close that. Airport, K-Buff. There we go. Now we got the menus. You're a spotter at ARG? Oh, very nice. Okay, I'm just going to look here at the approach. We're looking at going ILS 23. We're coming in. So it looks like we could come in via GI, which is that top waypoint. That'll work. Yeah. So down here on the FMC, we'll choose GI. Execute that.
31029 gust 41, runway 31 left to the line. 993.
And we'll use this chart also to set up our frequencies, etc. when the time comes. That's so cool. I love that that tablet is detachable. That's so cool. Oops. There we go. Alright. Probably on the AP a little too long, but yeah. Alright, I'm going to turn off hydraulics A, get ready for pushback. We'll go anti-collision on. We're also going to set up a squawk code of 3132. Bug up 32,000 on the altitude. Heading 310 initially. Let me just take a quick look here at the Polypot software to see if maybe we can get that. You know what happens if you click just above the pen holder? No, I actually don't know. Let's see if I can bring up the Polypot software here. Window capture, add source, add new source. I don't know if it'll display or not. It probably will. There we go. Yeah, there's the Polypot. Alright, so I don't know how to do this, but you have global data refs, global commands, data refs, text, commands, aircraft power. If I go to MCP Pro and I choose device 0, Fly Sid, how you doing? Button VNav. Alright, let's do, it's going to be a rotary IAS, right? Rotary IRS. And then the input event, yeah, will be clockwise. And you're saying it's going to be laminar B738. See, that's the problem, is it's B38M. So we can try it though. So B38M. It's going to be B38M toggle switch. So let's go look for toggle switch. Toggle switch. And then you're saying SPD ref adjust left. SPD.
You have the heavy Airbus 330 that's just about to touch down runway 31 left.
There it goes. We'll go right because I said clockwise. Toggle switch SPD ref right. I would do just 2 other control buttons for now just to see if it works. There's rotate. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I just want to try this. I don't know what code that is needed. I can hear it turning. I think I have to kind of save this though. Save settings. MCP Pro. No, not yet. Oh, no worries. We can try it later.
Papa, then Robert to the ramp, Delta 173, heavy.
And how was the approach?
I was slightly bumpy.
You could actually import an XML file. Ah, interesting.
Okay, copy, thank you. Delta 2937, did you copy that report?
Affirmative, Delta 29.
What if I should try? No, that's probably not going to work. Well, I'll experiment with it. We'll get it going. I can deal without the speed control for now.
And Delta 2937, verify clear line 31 left.
All right.
37, 31 left, middle.
Clear line, thank you. Delta 2937.
Let's go ahead and push back.
That's what my killer was clear of the runway.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
2821, taxi right Zulu, you'll be number 1, towers 119.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Number 1 and tower, good day, JetBlue 2020.
The other thing, to, like I said before, we're gonna be showing some live traffic at JFK. So, St. Wolfric, you like the golf game? Nice. I hope that you can join us in a skins game. Mishichu, how you doing? Yeah, I was invited to join the closed beta. So very fortunate that the not only to be allowed to dabble with the Max, but also to be able to show
all doors and hatches
a bit
are
of
closed, ready to connect.
A bit of preview for you guys. So, snow days are always good days to practice the golf, for sure. Oh, I'm gonna disconnect my GPU. So we're here, home, ground services, disconnect the GPU. Yeah, our APU gens are on, yep. Hey, Fokker 70, how you doing? We'll delay engine start. You haven't found commands for a rotary control yet. Okay.
And bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Okay, parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
I'm gonna delay engine start.
Wind 310 at 28 gust 42. Copy. Delta 2937, exit right when able, taxi Papa and Bravo to your ramp, monitor ground 1.1 asphalt.
Bravo, monitor point 9 to the ramp, okay, Delta 2937. Just matter of sit somewhere for a minute or stop in here, okay.
Can you guys hear that, JetBlue?
No assistance, we'll give us about 3-4 minutes, we'll get back to you, but we're short, Juliet.
FJM123, good day to you. You've been looking for project updates for this for a while. Yeah, it's I was really fortunate to have a real-world 737 MAX captain. He flies one almost every week. He was in my live stream yesterday, and he was able to point out to me some of the things that could be added to the aircraft. So that was kind of fun to be able to have him help me submit some constructive feedback, and so yeah. All the current commands are in a text file in the default Zibo main folder called B738 commands. Don't know if such a file exists in the Max install. I'm going to take a look. Let's see, X-Plane 11, aircraft, Zibo, Max, B738M. Or sorry, it's B38M_commands.txt file. So maybe
Operation complete. Set
that's
parking brake.
what we need to modify, possibly. Yep, that could be it. All right, I'm going to set the parking brake.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
What do you think will be the next plane that they will build? I don't know if there are any plans for them to do anything other than get the release of the 700 out and finish up the 900 and the MAX. Seems like there was one other one that they publicly announced, but I don't recall which one it was. Left pack off, right pack off. Let that duct pressure go there. And we will start number 1. Come down here, and as you can see, you now look here for your N2 on the screen there. Apparently in the real world MAX there is a...
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time, and have a great flight.
Thank you. Apparently there is a thing that pops up here that says motoring. So I don't know if that's going to be added or not, but
141 heavy, copy, thank you.
Exit 633 Kennedy Gun, runway 31 left, turn left onto Quebec and hold short November.
let that engine settle.
American 96.
Skyway 3910, Kennedy Gun, said you're going to one of the Charlie
American 9660K, tower course, way turbulence on a heavy 767, 5 miles ahead, wind 027, Dutch 36,
Oh, so cool.
fluctuations of approximately 5 knots on the approach when we drill left to land.
Start number 2.
Number 5372, got you a better time. And turn left onto Juliet.
North Trans 4900, you can exit right here and then taxi straight ahead Alpha to your end.
Okay, to the right and then straight ahead to Alpha to the ramp on 4900.
You can see the cutoff on idle looks a little bit different.
Traffic off your right side, 2 miles, 3,000 feet, heavy Airbus 330 for power.
Again, on 831 left, Zero Alpha, hold to the Gulf.
The other thing that we reported is that the animation here of the flaps on the digital display was just a bit off. We'll set flaps. Oh, hydraulics.
On Whiskey, right onto Bravo to ramp.
Okay, now there goes the flaps.
Bravo, good afternoon, Beeline 1 Charlie Papa, service, you are right.
Beeline 1 Charlie Papa, heavy tower traffic off your left wing, 2,000 feet, Airbus 321 for the parallel, wind 290 at 25, gust 36.
Right.
Taxiway turbulence, you're 4 miles in trail to a heavy 777. There was a wind shear report, gain loss of 15 knots, 200
Engine gen on. Probe heat on. We can put the packs back to auto, isolation valve to auto. APU bleed can come off.
Kobe 09K, tower course, way turbulence on a heavy Airbus 330, wind 300 at 28, gust 36. Wind shear report, gain a loss of 15 knots, 200 feet.
Taxi light on. Type in exclamation when for the answer. Yeah, Cactus 683. That's what I heard exactly on the engine startup process. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Probe heat is on. Everything looks good up here. We will switch engines to continuous. Well, one less thing to do at the runway. RTO is set. I think we're ready to go.
Alpha 100, with your order?
Alpha 100, you can monitor 1.9.
19, monitor 100.
The other thing I'm doing today is I am debuting Xvision for the first time ever for me and for you on my stream. Those clouds look different based on Xvision. Ooh, you know what? I wonder if... I think the nose wheel axis did not get saved.
Delta 49 Heavy, Kennedy Tower. Wind 300 at 28, gust 37, runway 31 left to the line.
Alright, Delta 49 Heavy, clear to land on 31 left, and also to make it official, we have a medical emergency on board.
Uh-oh.
Okay, Delta 49 Heavy, just advise with any information that you have about that.
A female, 33 years old, C15 Alpha.
Female 33, and the nature of the emergency?
Easiest push, he's been vomiting all day on a lot of medication.
Okay, copy. We'll give the medical equipment a call, and as soon as you know a gate number, that would be appreciated, just so we can get to further.
Should be gate 32.
32, copy.
So we have a medical emergency. Alright. Settings, hardware, yeah, right there. Perfect. Oh, there's a 763 coming in. Right there. Oh yeah, that's a real world flight coming in right now. Oh, snack. Oh, snack.
502 Kennedy Tower, wind 300 at 27, gust 37, wind shear report, gain loss of 159.
Chem Jelly. I've been using, sorry, the only preset I've ever tried was one called preset 6.3. This is a link. Yeah, roll the trucks, right, Gorian? Did you guys hear that? Alright, I'm gonna taxi out to hotel, and then I'm gonna turn on Bravo.
And Delta 49 Heavy, paramedics have been notified to move that. They're 5372, tower, runway 31 left on the way, next arrival is on a 7 mile. 31 left line of weight, number 53. You're on 1 side, Papa Heavy, as your left Victor, taxi right Bravo, your ramp on the ground 1.9.
6, you go to the ramp 1.9, open line 130.
Yeah, that 767 there was kind of leaning, wasn't it? There's an American Airlines American 9660. So I don't know if any of you guys are on Flight Radar 24. You could see where this plane's coming in from. It's just 3-1 left. This is real world traffic injected into the simulator. The expo in Orlando is a no-go due to a golf tourney this year. Jury's still out, right, Gorian? I think I should go. Are you going? The MAX is great. Yeah, the MAX is great. Look at the Airbus coming in. Oh, he turned off his transponder. I am not the one that has to decide. The better half has her birthday. Oh, okay. Yeah, D-Monies. See, I want to see D-Monies. I want to buy that man a brouhaha. Okay, continuing taxi down Juliet. I must admit, Xvision's looking pretty good. Someone told me though that it might break. Laminar may not allow, may change the way that they have shader influence, for lack of a better word.
We are ready for departure now.
JetBlue 28 to 21, you can continue full pulse to 311.
We'll continue to hold short, 311, JetBlue 2020.
This is liveatc.net. Yep. Alright, we're going to switch to TARA. We're also going to turn on our auto throttle. And we're going to bug up 150. Arm the LNAV and the VNAV. Anyone coming in? Oh yeah, we got a 763 coming in. A 7673 heavy. So let's let's turn down the exterior for a moment. Is he going around? There he is, coming in. I'd also assume it works along. I don't know if it works with Ultra Weather XP. What is the program I'm using for the real world flights? Oh, does that command work? There you go. That's so cool. I'm holding short right there. You betcha. Holding short right there. 10 knot loss due to wind shear, guys. Look at that, I'm right down there.
American 139, continue via Juliet and cross right to your right.
Continue via Juliet, cross to your right, American 179.
Delta 2645, follow the...
This guy came in from Schiphol. He just came in from Amsterdam. That guy that just landed. Woo! That's a long flight. Alright, I think I can get off. Let's do it. We get it, John. You're right there. I know. Isn't it awesome? We understand your excitement. Alright, let's do it. Let's turn up the sound for takeoff. Towers told us to get your butt off the ground. Let's see if auto Toga works this time, because it didn't on the last flight. But that was my fault, I think.
knots.
Yeah, there. Okay, we have to wait for 80 knots for some reason.
V1.
V1 already. Dang. Not even to the runway.
Positive brake.
Whoa, there is wind. Woo! There's a lot of wind here. Traffic. Okay, one more. It's not a spaceship. I know. All right, let's go, Command A. Let's do vertical speed. We'll go heading select. Actually, we'll go LNAV. And we'll go direct to Hop C. Turn down sound. Yep, roger.
Delta 2812, right here, right Bravo to your ramp, and just monitor ground on 1 to 1.9.
Yep. So yeah, that was not your typical pop-up commentary. Yeah, that was not your typical takeoff, but I wanted to get a little cinematic there, but it backfired. All right, we're direct to Hop C. Actually, we can go direct to Neon. Let's see. No, that's not showing. Yeah, that's fine. We can go direct core. No. Yeah, we'll stay here. That's fine. All right, 250 knots. We're at 5,000. We're just doing a slow climb up here. We'll let it do the VNAV calculation now. Yeah, it's right now the speed of the wind is 50 knots right now, Anders. Yeah, 50 knots. And wind shear. There's a loss. Uh-oh. It's putting me at 0.78 Mach already. Below. Oh, there's 250 knots. Yeah, wind shear. The real world aircraft are reporting. Ooh, soup. They're reporting 10 to 15 knot loss on because of wind shear. And yeah, the wind speed here at flight level, or it's not flight level, but 9,000 feet is now 55. And the direction is 292, so it's almost a direct headwind. It's crazy. Yeah, I should have stayed in the cockpit view for takeoff, but. All right, 10,000. We'll wait till transition to turn off lights. Flaps are clean. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm using is Xvision with Active Sky for X-Plane. Yep, right now. First time ever.
We got a subscribe.
We have a subscribe. Thank you, Maverick323 with the subscribe.
We got a subscribe.
Okay, overhead panel knob TR1, TR2 mode, and Gen.
We got a subscribe.
There's TR1, and there's Gen 1, and there's Gen 2. Overhead panel. Okay, got it. Thank you, Cat3. Mode and Gen. Should I see on Gen 1 or Gen 2? Roger, where's my phone? Oh, yeah, of course. Let me open up the bat phone. All right, we're at 15,000. We are climbing. Ground speed is 270. We probably should be below 250, but we could have done a manual override with the auto throttle, but like, look at that crabby crab. Sky colors look pretty good. Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. All right, that's kind of cool. Wow. Okay. That is looking pretty good. All right, we're at transition level. Let me put in standard pressure. Oh, that's weird. It's not letting me do standard pressure. Huh. That's weird. All right, lights coming off. Landing lights are off. Oh, taxi light should have already been off. We can go strobe and steady. Engines can go to, they'll stay in continuous until we hit cruise, I guess. But yeah. Can I change the barrel? Huh. I can't change the barrel right now. Let's see if we can do it with plane command. Set altimeter 299
Altimeter 299
Set altimeter 2983.
Altimeter 2983.
Nope, it's locked right now. You feel like some of the cloud formations look better? I think they look pretty good. Like I say, this is the first time with Xvision. Good morning, sir.
Hey, howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy. Prozac is in the house, gentlemen.
Hey, I was going to say what you would do in real life with the windshield like that on departure. You would increase your rotation speed about 20 knots.
I noticed that, you know, I didn't even get to the numbers before it said V1, and it was because of that headwind.
Yeah, what we would do is we would go beyond the V1 about 20 knots.
Okay,
or
so
2,000 feet remaining. If we get to 2,000 feet remaining before we get to that 20 knot increase, we're going to get airborne.
Okay, so my V1 was 134, so about 154, give or take.
Yeah, you want to make sure, obviously, you're not in a flap over speed, which is going to be a player if you're taking off with 15 or 25 flaps.
Okay.
Actually, wait, a max is going to be a lot higher, so you're okay.
Yeah, that was yeah. I was being more cinematic than by the book on that one for sure.
I just throw it out there if anybody's interested.
No, that's good info.
Fly it the way you want.
I don't know if we tried to change the altimeter yesterday, but I can't change it today. So I'm not sure if that's, and there is a difference. I did update my X-plane, by the way, so getting TCAS alert. So there is that. Let's go to.
Yeah, I'll be taking notes if anything I notice. Hey, Growler, how you doing?
Aircraft config, sync. There we go. Let's see if that works now. Oh, yep, that works. That fixed it. So in the tablet, I just said sync QNH captain side. So now it's standard on both sides. All right, cool. That's fixed. Hey, Bish753. Hey, Bish. Look. It's Xvision in your... I blame Bish for this beautiful situation. We made an agreement. Bish agreed to fly the Zebo, and I agreed to buy and install Xvision. He blames you for the love he had. No, I know. I blame him for the... I'm actually digging the Xvision. I really am. I'm using a preset 6.3. I didn't like the fact that it disabled my Lua scripts, but we cheated and we renamed a few of them back. So it looks pretty good. It's your fault. Let's see, Solaris Clocky Toaster, cool name. Every time you see this sim, I feel like going to X-Plane instead of P3D. Yeah, I hear you, man.
Let me ask you this question: Is watching sims like the grass is greener on the other side? People on X-Plane think P3D may look better sometimes, and vice versa.
I think there is an element of that, but me, I flew X-Plane, or sorry, I flew P3D 9 days ago. 8 or 9 days ago, and so I fly both, and we all know what I prefer. So, but to be honest, I think what it comes down to is what people first get into, and then they kind of stick with that for the most part until they're converted to the other side. But then you have people that are now hybrid, right? So Brad and Puck both are now doing P3D as well as X-Plane. So it's nice to have. We have the options, right? And there's as we always discuss, there's good and bad in both sims, and what a glorious thing that we have options. Yep. All right, should pick up speed now. We're in the cruise. So I'm going to turn off the fasten seatbelt signs. Can you remind me, FO, to turn those back on?
Yeah, usually I'll get that atop a descent. What you could do is if you leave it in auto, if you forget, when you put the gear down, they're going to come back on automatically.
What about, it doesn't come down automatically when I start descending, huh?
No, you've got to physically take it to, let me think
the
how
gear.
we do this.
Okay. I'll just put it on auto for now then.
This is one of those cases where you sit in the airplane, it makes perfect sense, then looking at a computer screen, it's like, let me think about it.
Yeah, I hear you. If you don't want Xvision to mess with your Lewis scripts, there is a toggle that can enable that. Oh, okay. I think I will have it mess with, well, I think I will have my, I have a haze Lewis script that I run because I'm not a fan of the extreme haze, the overdoing of the haze. So that's a Lewis script that I will disable when I'm using Xvision. So Cat3 says that the A320X is the best from FS Labs, is the best add-on till date in the sim world. Is that the one that Black Box was flying the other day? Is the A320X? I may have seen that one. I will kindly disagree and say that I think the best plane is the Zibo 738. And then the best GA aircraft in all sims is the TBM 900. Exclamation when. Type in exclamation when for the answer there, MB. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, this is the Max. And, yep. It's beautiful. All right, I want to know what my top of descent is going to be. 151 miles. Slight is a fan of the 738. Yeah, that's my favorite plane. Followed closely by the Flight Factor 320 for X-Plane, and then the Flight Factor 7.5 and 7.6. Yep. And you're back. So yeah. Have you heard about the Zibo 747 coming out? No, I have not. Is that a thing? Give me the link. Actually, it's all, I think there were some screenshots, right, of a 747, I think? Or was that a Payware 747? Yeah.
You know, John, you're a bad influence. Today was my day to do taxes, and I find myself here.
I don't do my taxes until April, it seems like. But yeah, you can multitask. Just don't, make an error in the numbers unless it's in your favor. I don't own a 777 in X-Plane 11, so yes, the best 777 out there available is the PMDG for P3D. Yeah. Are taxes required or optional? Can't you just say you forgot? I think if you're in space, like if you happen to find yourself in the International Space Station, you can ask for an extension. I think I saw that on a movie once.
I didn't have to pay my taxes for the time that I was deployed to Iraq.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that 6 months was tax-free, which is kind of nice.
Oh, that's really nice. I think, if I were running for president, one of my campaign promises would be better school lunch and teachers, pay no taxes. elementary, junior high, and high school teachers pay no taxes. Cool Zebra says, thank you for your service, brother. Yeah, he's got a lot of time in military planes. A lot of service for all of us.
Yeah, Iraq wasn't flying though. I ran an airfield near Nasiriyah.
Oh, nice. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's a beautiful thing.
All right, so here's your question, John. Are you running your engine anti-ice right now?
I'm not actually. Am I in? I'm not in.
Do you need to? I would be running it in this.
No, I don't.
Okay, we're high enough. Never mind.
Yeah. You had a. It looked on the side like we were in it. Yeah. I hear you, man.
Big thing is, like I said, if your total air temperature is 10 degrees or less and you're in visible moisture, but if it's outside temperature is minus 41 or colder, static temperature, you don't have to run it. You can get that off your progress page 2 of your progress on your FMC. It'll tell you the outside temperature. You guys know the difference between static pressure or static temperature and total air temperature, right?
Tell us, please.
Total air temperature is as you're moving through the airstream, the faster you go, the friction from the air moving over the surface of the airplane actually heats it up a little bit. So that's what the TAT's telling you. Static is if you were to sit there and take a thermometer and put it outside, which does not take into account the friction effects of the air. That's the true temperature outside.
True temperature is with a thermometer. That's what I'm going to try to.
It's what your finger's going to feel when you stick your finger out the window and still air.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go back to my Zebo and look at the. Remind myself. There we go. We're doing the ILS 23 into Buffalo via Guy.
Oh, this is the one that had the crash a few years back on.
What is? Oh, the ILS on this approach? Oh, wow.
Yeah, you got to be careful when you come in from the north. In real life, you got to be careful when you come in from the north. The localizer signal 5 degrees off that heading to the north is just totally unreliable.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a big NOTAMs and all that kind of stuff about it. So basically, don't arm it until you're on the course.
Okay, and I'm not going to arm it until I'm actually really like 8 miles out, something like that.
There's a question in the chat, if you don't mind me asking. It says, so total air temperature is what determines anti-ice usage. There's 2 rules. Anytime you're in visible moisture and your total air temperature is less than 10 degrees, you need to have your engine anti-icing on. That's in a climb. Basically, anytime you have high power settings, there's an exception to that. So if you're in climb or cruise, and the outside air temperature, that's the static air temperature, which you have to go in the FMC and get. If it's 41 degrees or cooler in a climb or cruise, you can turn your engine icing off. In the descent, if the TAT is less than 10, I don't care what the outside temperature is in that, because my power's back, I'm going to have the engine icing on. And we run that all the time. When I flew Lears, we had a guy absolutely destroy a Lear 35 engine because he flew into a cloud for about 3 seconds and didn't turn his anti-icing on. And it built up enough in one of the engines that just came up.
That was expensive maintenance. So you guys have the same tax deadline, Bish, in the UK? I didn't know that. I don't think I'll have a refund this year, unfortunately.
Folks in the UK are taxed a lot higher than we are.
Yeah, but they also get that medical care. So, I mean, if you At my last employer, if you take what I was paying for my premiums for a family for medical, it's about the same tax rate, to be honest. Well, it's close anyway.
Yeah, but we don't pay taxes on our TV sets here.
That's true. Well, we do when we buy them.
Yeah, but not every year.
How much is tax on a TV, Bish, per year? And is there a TV police force? There probably is.
There is a TV police force. I won't say how I know this. I was stationed in Germany, but I'll just leave it at that.
It's like their FCC. They go around and scan the house to see if there's wavelengths from a television set.
A lot of folks in Germany had British television.
It's 140 pounds per year. Wow. Wow. I bet you there's a lot of bootleggers. Okay, so Benny and then Guy. I think after ULW, we're going to go to... Yeah, no, we'll leave it the same. That's fine. So I'll bring in Guy there. Let it recalculate.
So, John, I got a question about your mode control panel hardware you have. Does that match this Zebo, or I'm sorry, this Max pretty?
Everything is functional except for the... I can't change the speed with the IAS selector. But I think that's fixable. I have to go into this program, and there's a guy in chat, McTrine, who's pretty savvy, and he or others we're gonna get to the bottom of it. It's just a setting in a profile of a third-party software package. But everything else is working. Like, for example, if I just sync my heading bug, boom, it just changed on here to 301, and I can change it. All right, top of descent is at 92 miles. And at Guy, I want to be at 12,000. So I'm going to reset my MCP to 12,000.
This far from top of descent in real world, we'd start running our takeoff and our landing data. The captain would probably, or the pilot flying would also brief up his arrival at this.
Pretend you're the captain. Give me a briefing.
Oh, let me pull up the approach plate. Let me pull up the approach plate then. And what's the weather there?
You can let's see. I'm going to type exclamation METAR KBuff in the chat, and that's going to come up with the METAR. Is there someone that could code up a Leo Bodnar? I bet you there is someone here that could do that. Actually, I don't have any satellite or cable right now. I'm only doing online stuff.
Let me go find my EFB.
Roger. U.S. Medical is so... Yeah, I agree, Cam. It's crazy. I think I was paying almost $600 per month. Per 4 weeks, maybe. Is this a 787? How you doing, Puck? Bishy, is there a waypoint called Bishy in the real world? I want to know. There is a waypoint called Snack. SNAKK.
There is a waypoint up there called Fubar, and every time that it's going into Dulles. And being the smart aleck I am, every time that ATC clears me direct to Fubar, I say, Roger, we're cleared direct Fubar, but I'm not sure I'm going to recognize it when I...
And they're like, we hear that all the time. You got GSX and some other stuff? Super hyped. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, I made a mistake. Here I was thinking that you didn't have the 777, so... But I'm glad you got some additional... Oh, there is a waypoint called Bishy. Nice.
Yeah, this actually, John, this wouldn't be much of an arrival brief because there's not really an arrival into here.
Yeah, we're just going Benny and then Guy and then on into Corvu and then vectors.
Yeah, Buffalo's so slow. They usually clear you direct to the airport about 120 miles out. Big thing is at about 35 DME, they're going to clear us down to 11,000 feet. So I'm going to put a point 35 miles from the airport and code it up at 11,000 feet. So I got a good VNAV profile. If I don't have a VNAV profile, what I'll use is my altitude in DME and multiply that by 3 times. So what's our altitude we're cruising at?
320.
Okay, so I'd be looking for about 99 miles is when I want to start my descent, and that's the absolute last point to do it. And I'd be doing that in level change, idle power. All right, you ready for me to tell you a story?
Yep. Hold on. Let me just test one thing here. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so if I'm flying, I'd give you the aircraft. The way we would do this realistically is if we were doing an actual arrival, the pilot flying is going to read through off the FMS the waypoints for the arrival. It's going to read the waypoints. He's going to read the encoded altitudes and the airspeeds. Pilot not flying or the pilot monitoring is going to follow along on his EFB on the approach chart and make sure that what the pilot flying is reading exactly matches what's coded in the FMC and what's on the approach plate. If there's a difference, the pilot not flying will speak up and say, hey, I show this, and then you'll figure out why that's not the case. So since there's no approach here, we're really not going to do that. But I'm going to go and brief the ILS. If the weather's nice and if it's more than 1,000 feet, I'm going to fly this visually. Let's see what our weather really is there. So it's gusty winds, 4 miles, light snow. So with this weather, I'm going to have to do an ILS. So what we'll plan on doing is we're going to fly the ILS to runway 23. I show that dated 5 October, 2018, page 11-2. You're going to check on your approach plate to make sure that it matches exactly what I read. I'm looking for a frequency of 111.3, inbound course 235. We're going to cross the auto market
Wait, what's the date again? You have October 18th?
5
11?
October 18.
I've got 11 October 18.
You got to realize I'm using, it's effective 11 October, the one I have, but the actual date of the chart is 5 October.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm also using a tailored approach plate for the company I work for, so it may be a little different than what you show.
Okay.
So we're going to cross the auto marker at 2,205 feet. We're going to both cross-check our altimeters at that time, make sure that we're within 100 feet of what that reads, going down to a decision altitude of 926. And I need at least a half-mile vis, and that's assuming we've got full lighting.
Okay.
I am allowed to go down to less than that if I need to, but I have to use the flight director or the HUD down to decision altitude. In this case, the weather's nice enough that's not going to be a player. MSA from the direction we're coming from is 3,900 feet. I got a spot elevation about 7 miles to the southeast of the airport up to 2449. If we have to go missed approach, it's going to be climbed to 2,300 feet, then a right climbing turn to 3,000 feet. Take a heading of a 300 outbound. I'm intercept the Buffalo 267 radial. Go out to Davic, which is 23.1 DME we're going to hold. And that looks like that will be a teardrop entry.
Okay.
Lighting that we're looking for on the ground, I've got ALSIF 2 lighting, Pappy's on the right side. We do have a wet runway, so I'm going to go at least auto brake 2. Planning clearing the active at Taxiway Golf, maybe Alpha. And if you were the pilot flying, what I would brief is when you at 70 knots, if you're the FO and you were the pilot flying, we're going to have to transfer aircraft control at some point. So what I would brief at this point is about 70 knots, decelerating through there. I'm going to come on the brakes. I'm going to say out the brakes. You stow the aircraft. Once you stow the thrust reversers, I will take the aircraft at that point. Any questions?
No questions. May have a question later, sir. And this is cool. Yeah, Grow Adler. He is the best add-on in 2019 for the sim. Prozac is.
Would you like me to do the arrival brief, boss?
Please.
I mean, for the passengers.
Please.
All right.
Let me turn on the PA here. I just simulated turning on the PA.
All right. So what I would do is I would
your PA mic's live.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for the flight deck, we're getting ready to start our descent into Buffalo. Just going to turn on the fasten seatbelt sign. I'd like to ask you to remain in your seats for the remainder of the flight. Current weather in Buffalo, temperature of about 45 degrees. Cloudy skies, gusty winds, and light snow. We'll be in the ground in just about 20 minutes. Do appreciate you flying Alaska. Hope you continue to pride us your service in the future.
PA simulation off. Nice. I like it.
And then something else I would probably do is I would ding the flight attendants, ask them to secure the cabin, clean up, and sit down now, because it's probably going to be bumpy in the descent with those winds.
All right, let me ding them.
It's 2 chimes to get their attention.
Oh, 2.
1 chime says you're either climbing through 10,000 feet or descending through 10,000 feet. The 2 chimes say you want to talk to.
Okay. Glocky, he flies for Snack Air. SNAK. Get your stocks. Get your stock now, because it's going public, baby. That was great insight. Yep, for sure. Windy today, even for Top Golf. Guessing you didn't go.
No, Steve, Philly. I asked Mrs. Prozac about it, and she's like, "Nah, it's too windy."
I went there on Valentine's, and it was I was thinking to myself, all right, it's really super cold out. They have the heaters, but is it going to really be enough? Because it's outside, Well, the couches are heated. I was like, oh, let's get it on. I mean, drink-wise, and appetizer-wise. That was a fun time. Is it typically the senior flight attendant that interferes with the flight deck? Does that matter, or is it company SOP?
It's usually whoever's closest to their little phone, their handheld.
The sofas and the food make the golf secondary. Yep, for sure. Yep. Wonder if I can buy Snack Air stock, or it will be a conflict of interest. If you are a qualified investor, then you can buy stock options. And
you guys can buy stock by subscribing.
Subscribe. Yep. You can. Anyone with an icon, a subscriber icon next to their name, is almost pre-qualified for Snack Air stock. M9 Aviation is here. Good day, sir.
I'm still waiting for the Snack Air cocktail napkins.
We need to contact our China factory to make those, because we need those.
I could sneak those onto the plane in real life.
Yep.
I might get in trouble if I did that, though. That probably would not be a good idea.
So I want all you guys out there who are TBM 900 fans to take a look at that website right there. The gentleman in the chat, M9 Aviation, is making these custom TBM 900 switch panels, and they are available for pre-sale. Check out that website. And he's also a Twitch streamer, so click on his name and give him a follow. You can get some real-world knowledge from that gentleman. And if anyone wants to donate $449, I will be more than happy to order a TBM 900 overhead and lower panel right now. Hashtag sellout. Yeah, Puck, they're really beautiful. They're really, really beautiful. If I was a handyman, I would buy the kit, and I would probably enjoy building that from the kit that he also makes available for a lower price. So yeah. Your employer prevents you from buying aviation stocks? Oh, that sucks. PH Kim, can you short? You can short once we're public, but you can't short before we're public. Can you? Can you short pre-public? I guess if you have, I don't know. Why would no? You want to wait on that one.
Just curious. It feels like it's been 10 minutes. How close are you to the top of descent?
12 miles. And on the ND, I wish we didn't have this glare. Yeah, there's our top of descent on the ND. I was thinking I could close the door and maybe have less glare, but I can't figure out how to close the door yet.
Yeah, the flight attendants are usually the ones that close the door. Something else to consider, you've got wind straight down the runway, so it's not a factor today, but in a snowy situation where you've got a crosswind and a possible slick runway, that's your biggest risk of going off the runway. And it's usually when you deploy your thrust reversers. It's the way the airflow goes against the upwind wing, and the downwind can turn you sideways pretty quickly. So that's just something else I tend to brief the FOs just to be cognizant. If we start to see we're veering pretty hard fast, the way you fix that, so we got to stow the thrust reversers.
Okay.
I had it happen to me once in the Learjet going into Bucharest, Romania, and scared the snot out of me. Fortunately, I had the presence of mind to get the thrust reversers in before I got off the runway, but I wasn't ready for it at the time. And that was in a Lear 35. It wasn't in a 7.3.
They need a good Lear 35 for X-Plane. Maybe it's in here. No. Maybe it's the start load cleaning process. Type exclamation when fly. Hardy Q, welcome, welcome.
One more thing, John. With these winds, you want to add 9 knots to your VREF speed.
9 knots added to the VREF. Okay.
Yep. You take pretty much. You take half the gust increment. Okay. I'm sorry. You take the whole gust increment.
Oh, drag required. We are in descent. Okay. Oh, and we got traffic. That's interesting. Start loading, cleaning.
In real life, I'll usually lead that descent by about 9 miles. At the higher altitudes, the plane tends to get really fast if you don't plan ahead. And you can get right up against the barber pole. The way I found that to prevent that from happening is just start your descent about 10 miles.
10 miles before?
Yeah, that's probably not in the sim. It's just it's a real world 7.3 thing. And it's more of a 700 because the 700 does not like to come down.
Put in some speed brakes. I wonder if I could go in and somehow modify a file to get rid of that glare. The other thing I want to do is I want to fly a night flight. Maybe I'll do that next.
I made a comment about the glare in the notes section that I took yesterday.
Yeah, speaking of that, if you go back to that place that's where that place where we posted the information. Okay, you responded to him today. Okay, cool. Because Jorge really wants to talk to you. He was like,
yeah, I answered him. I posted a bunch of pictures showing, like the VSD switch that should be up in the EFIS panel. And I got a lot of those pictures from the 737 cockpit companion.
I love that cockpit companion. Anyway, he wanted to talk to you about a couple of other things, and he may want you to go on his stream as well. But I don't know him, so have a chat with him. Let him. He is the 737 Cloudy Box though streamer, so nice guy, and he was anxious to talk to you. So, and he may be one of the guys that are going to be able to change some of these things. So. And so maybe in the next version we'll get rid of that EGT temperature gauge.
Yeah, they got to get the engine start right on this.
I think that's a little more complicated of a process because, well, I don't know what it all entails, but I think the aesthetics things could be addressed.
This is pretty close.
It's not bad for a free piece of software.
I'm not a fan of the MAX, by the way. Having flown it, I like the 800. That's my favorite 7.3 to fly.
Maybe over time, they'll make some changes to it, and you'll like it more. But
the big thing is just the engines take so long to start, and if you're not proactive, you can cause a pretty good traffic jam. If you're in a alleyway, blocking people, also trying to
taxi. Maybe they'll change that.
So I found a way that works really well. What you do is you crank the number 2 engine, and for guys you don't know, the engine shaft has got an intentional bow built into it. It's curved, and before you start the engine, you got to get that curve out of there. So the way you do is when you start the engine, it's got a motor for about anywhere from a minute and a half to 3 minutes before you can raise that start lever, and that takes a lot of time. But what I found works good is you start the number 1 engine. And as soon as you get rollback, the number 2 engine, you start the right engine. As soon as you get rollback, you start motoring that number 1 engine. You clear off the tug drivers. And then I tell the FO that we're going to treat this as a single engine taxi. So while the number 1 engine's motoring, we'll run our before taxi checklist, get the flap set. He'll do his flow to get the overhead panel set up. And about the time that he's calling for taxi clearance is when the motoring will stop and we're ready to throw gas to that number 1 engine. That I found works the best.
That's good information. I'm going to tell you guys right now that this Xvision that I think I spent $23 on, 18 euros, something like that. This is a cool program. I'm using ActiveSky for X-Plane for the engine, but it's taking the X-Plane default clouds and shading them. Now we just did have a weather change there, but the clouds look pretty good, and the sky colors look really good.
Cheaper alternative, John, just to fly at night. You don't have to worry about the.
That's true.
You don't have to worry about
Bish, yes, you did tell me, and I told you something too. There's an emote for that. But yeah, no. Well, thank you for staying on us about. Oh, and there's even some layers. Look at that. Look at that cloud puff. That cloud puff, I think, says Bish right there. Yeah. Wow. All right, standard pressure is off, and we're setting
it. Just to back you up there, boss, is the fasten seatbelt sign.
2908, thank you. Fasten seatbelt sign is on already. I did that, I think, at the top of descent.
This is at 18,000 is where you're going to throw all your external lights on.
Okay, landing lights are on.
Except the taxi. You'll keep the taxi off, but
taxi off. Would you have runway turn off on?
On this one, yes. If you've got the retractables, like some of the 700s, you'll see retractables. Even there's 2 more switches further left.
Okay.
We use the retractable landing lights with the flaps.
Do you change the?
He's going to throw on this side. He's going to throw on the wing illumination lights. The wing lights is what it's labeled in this one. So passing 10, he's going to turn those on.
Like the wing lights, okay. And then the engines, do they go to continuous here in the descent?
They go left continuous.
Okay.
Other carriers may do it different.
And then
I
the engine
realize
would
that
be
for a
able
lot
to
of
go to
people.
both, maybe, or doesn't matter on the
No, go left
ignition.
continuous.
No, on the
Take that
ignition. Left. Okay.
Take it to
Left
left.
continuous. Sorry, that's what you meant by that. Okay.
Yeah. We only use both if there's a MAL item that requires it.
Okay. Rock'em Sock'em. Yeah, it really has. It really has changed things. Yeah.
I mean, it's your sim. You can fly it the way you want. I'm just pointing out how one carrier does it.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty common amongst several carriers.
1,000 to go.
And just disclaimer: all this information is just for entertainment purposes only, and it's our own opinions.
There's a lot of other stuff I could say that I'm intentionally leaving out.
And I'm hoping that as a result of showing this, that I get 1% commission of all 737 MAX sales in the real world. Just 1%. All right, I'm going to reset my altitude down to 4,000. And we want to be, I'm going to set my flaps 30. Would you do 30 or 40 with the wet runway? And the speed and the winds.
It depends what it says. Adding 15 knots of wind and a 700, it's not going to be a factor in this one. Adding 15 or 9 knots and a 700, depending on your weight, you could be right up against the flaps 40 overspeed.
Okay.
So I got to look at a couple factors. I want to look at my stopping margin. If my stopping margin is more than 1,000 feet at flaps 30, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do flaps 30.
Okay.
If the speed's going to be high enough where I'm within 10 knots of overspeeding at flaps 40, I'm not going to do a flaps 40. If the runway is really wet and slippery, I have to do flaps 40.
Okay, so let's assume the runway's wet.
They give us brake
speed.
readings. It's
I've got
a
a ref
1 through 5 or 1 through 6. If it's 3 or less, I've got to use flaps 40.
Okay, I've got a ref of 132. What should I add to that?
Add 9 knots. Okay. So just see where it says wind correction on the. Go back down to the mode control panel.
The mode control panel.
On the bottom right, change that 5 to a 9. So it says wind correction.
Oh, wind correction. Check that out. Oh, baby. Yes.
There you go. So now when you go to your legs page and you look at runway 23, you're going to see the correct target speed on the mode control panel. I'm sorry, on the FMC.
6,014. It's not descending. I think my VNAV may not be working. So I'm going to take control. As any good. Pilot should do.
Level change.
Oh yeah, level change. Sorry.
Level change.
Level change to 4,000 only. So.
What you want to do is you want to point to your 4 when you set it there.
Point to my what?
Point to where you just set 4,000 on there.
Mm-hmm.
On your MCP.
Mm-hmm.
You point to it. You turn to look at me, and I repeat and say 4,000.
Ah, I'm looking at you. 4,000.
4,000. And there's no 1,000 to go call, which drives me crazy in the Zevo.
Uh-oh.
It's 5.
Gotta slow down. Level change. I went to overspeed. ATC is not happy with me right now.
A lot of times they won't notice if you don't say anything.
Shh. Don't say anything. This is where the DJ talks. Don't say anything. What song is that from, guys? All right, I'm going to set this to 2,300. All right, my MCP is now set to 230. I'm pointing at it.
And John, you know that that 250 knots below 10 doesn't count 12 miles off the coastline, right?
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Why would it change off the coastline?
Because FAA airspace only goes out to 12 miles. So a lot of times going into Fort Lauderdale, coming in over the water, we'll keep it fast down low.
Ooh, I didn't know that. Coo, 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 coo. Cuckoo. Yes, PH Kim won that. I'm going to give him snacks. All right. Okay, so should I turn on some anti-ice here pretty soon, boss?
I would. But I tend to run it more than most guys just because I remember the dude in my Learjet unit that destroyed the engine, so I tend to be kind of hypersensitive to it.
Just engine or wing or both?
We only turn wings on when we can see. So usually the best way you can tell if you're getting wing icing is, we don't use wing icing very often. It's only when you can physically see it building up in the wing. The best place to look is there's a nut on your windshield wiper.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first
whether or
place
not
that
there's
usually
ice. Okay.
Yeah, so if you see ice building up on that nut, I mean, I've had that nut get the size of a grapefruit before in icing. But if I see icing building up that nut, I'm going to turn on the wing icing. The big thing is, on approach, you've got to get that wing icing back off because you do not have, it takes too much
a lot of power. Okay.
Did I answer your question?
Mm-hmm. You did. Uh-oh. We're on the soup. I need some wipers.
In real life, we usually don't turn the wipers on until we're about 300 or 400 feet above the ground.
Because the wind speed is just going to take care of your buildup, huh?
When you're in the soup, you're not going to see anything anyways.
Yeah, that's true. I don't like how they're not coordinated. Someone said, oh, yeah, you could pause the Zebo and then start them at the both time and then unpause it, and then they're coordinated.
In the 7.3s we fly, there's only one switch.
They're
not coordinated either.
In the MAX?
In all the planes, there's only one
They're
switch.
not coordinated?
And they're
with
not coordinated.
One switch?
They each have a mind of their own.
Oh, interesting. All right, I'm slow enough now here. I'm going to bring my... I'm going to arm my speed brake. I'm going to try to anyway. Arm spoilers.
Spoilers armed.
Thank you. Auto brake, we're setting that to 2 because of the wet runway condition. And
one thing that's different with the MAX is the spoilers, depending on when flaps 30 or flaps 40, when you're about 50 feet off the runway, they're going to deploy. As we mentioned this yesterday, this plane sits about 18 inches higher off the ground than the 700s, and so to get the FAA to certify this, the landing picture had to look the same as a 700. So by getting the spoilers deploying early is how they can get that landing picture to be the same as the other airplanes.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go flaps 1. Okay, at Trava waypoint, we are 12 out, so I won't put my gear down quite yet.
At 10,000 feet, you want to ding the flight attendants again just so they know to start cleaning up the cat.
Single ding.
Single ding, because you're just telling them to...
One ping
to
only.
Clean up.
Re-verify range to targets.
Oh, crap, we forgot to run checklists.
Only. Yeah, we did. It's okay. Let's do it now. No,
you want to
never
combine
mind.
them?
Go ahead. Yep.
All right, descent minimums. Your response is set. VREF, V-target.
VREF, target set.
You're just going to read it with the... Yeah, you say set. You say what the speeds are. So this case, it's what, 132...
132, adding 9, 141.
Set noted.
Set
Auto
noted.
brake, you're just going to read what the gauge says.
Auto brake 2.
And recall, I can't do it, so hit the recall button on your
recall clear.
All right, that's the descent checklist. I'm sorry, that's the approach checklist. And the approach checklist, I'm trying to do this from memory, is altimeters. You're just going to read what it says.
Altimeter 3008, not set. I'm setting now. 3008.
Packs, your response should be auto. You want to make sure they're in auto.
Packs are on auto?
Yeah, the air conditioning packs.
Yep, packs, air conditioning packs, auto.
And start switches, the response should be left continuous.
Left continuous.
All right, descent and approach checklist complete.
1,000 to go.
Jameson wants to know what you mean by landing picture.
That means when I'm looking out the window, where the runway is, in the windscreen, looks the same coming in at a max as it does in the 700 or the 300 or the 800. When I'm in the flare, where the runway is in the same spot. So sometimes you fly different planes, it may be in a different spot and looks different. So what they did was they had to make it look the same for both types of airplane. I don't know, does that answer your question?
Gear coming down. See, speed 100. Ooh, we got 38 knots of 35 knots of wind. Crosswind too. Oh, snack.
One of the big things I'm thinking about is if I have high winds like this up at altitude, and they're calling like maybe 10 knots on the ground, there's something to keep in mind. You probably have a wind shear at some point. So you need to just pay really close attention to airspeed because you may drop 10 knots really fast if you're not on top of it. Today it's not that much different, so it should be okay.
Setting localizer. Flaps continuing down.
And for guys making the comments about the spoilers and stuff, this is one of the things about the MAX is we have no control from the flight deck. It's done by the computer and it's done by the airplane. So, I mean, the MAX is kind of becoming an Airbus in some respects.
Wait, the flaps are automatic?
I misspoke. I meant the spoilers.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes, Cajun Cacti, the spoilers do deploy about 10 to 50 feet above the runway when we're in the flare. And we have no control over it. And that's just the MAX, and it's done to get the landing picture looking the same as a 700 or an 800. Because the MAX actually sits a lot higher off.
I have a 34 knot crosswind from 311. Oh, snackalo.
So what I would do in real world here with these kind of winds is I would call tower, just ask for a wind check and make sure that the winds are still in our limits.
Wind check.
Which is 35. It's 35 knots, and that's the word you use. Hey, tower, wait.
Buffalo Tower, wind check. Wow. All right, I'm going to hit the approach button. Real severe crosswind. All right, so I'm going to need some rudder here to correct at the very end because we're crabbing like a monster
Cat 3's
crab.
asking what's the max wind. It depends on the conditions of the runway, but dry runway we can be up to 35 knots, and that's steady state. That's not the crosswind. That's not a gust. That's a steady state of 35 knots is the max landing.
Can someone type in exclamation when? Oh baby, there's the predictions coming in. They're all going well. One's Mitch is. I would say C206 is not too. I'm going to guess 4 hundo right on the nose. All right, so I'm thinking that I'm going to need to do a lot of left rudder here just before touchdown. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. What I do, John, is I look out the window.
1,000 feet stabilized.
And I just look out the window in the flare. You know, I've got a wing down. You know, to stop my drift, and then I kick in rudder to put the center line under my right leg.
Okay, is 9 knots still appropriate for this 35 knot crosswind?
Yeah, this low to the ground, we're not going to change it. Would you like it before landing?
Go ahead.
Speed brake. Your response is armed green light.
Armed green light.
Is it armed?
Yep.
Okay, landing gear. Your response is down 3 green.
Down 3 green.
And flaps. Your response is 30.
Flaps 30. 30 green light. Is there a green light on flaps? Wow. Okay.
Fine check split. Yes, there is.
Okay.
There should be a green light just below the flap gauge that says flaps lat agree.
All right. Sterile cockpit. Let me land this. Hold on.
That's going to be a note. I see a note.
My airplane. Oh my gosh.
$500.
Okay. Oh, whoa. Reversers in.
All right, deployed. And extended.
And manual braking can happen when?
Auto brake disarm. Whenever you want to kick it off.
Okay. Auto brake off. Exiting runway.
And 60 knots. That wasn't too bad.
Hmm.
And taxiing clear, just as your nose crosses that white stripe, you say
Oops.
flaps up.
Oh, that's a little bit of a mistake there. Reversers do not like to disengage until I go to idle. There we go. Ooh, look at Buffalo Airport. There we go. All right, spoilers down.
Spoilers down.
Your response as you taxi clears just flaps up.
Flaps 0.
Flaps going up all the way.
Flow. He's gonna turn off the windshield heat. He's gonna turn off the TAT heat. He's gonna raise the flaps. He's gonna take the start switches to off. Turn off the radar.
Start switches can go to auto?
They go to off.
I don't have an off.
Okay, they go auto.
Okay. Taxi lights on, strobe and steady off. Anti-collision can stay on. Wing light can come off.
Yep, he's going to turn on. The FO's going to go to steady. He's going to turn off the wing lights, and he's going to turn on the wheel well light.
You can take off auto bike by applying brakes. Ooh.
You need to get steady on the position light.
On the position light, steady. Okay, that's like a beacon.
It's not a beacon. It's your nav lights. It's your red light on your left wing. Right there, and then the beacon, the strobes, he's going to turn off.
Sorry,
and
strobes.
He's leave the beacon on. Beacons will stay on until the engine shuts down.
Enjoy the din bish.
There's a nice Southwest jet over there.
There is, and there's a nice JetBlues. And way too much rain coming out down the tarmac. You know what?
Yeah, I'd be calling the fire department out if I saw that in real life.
Yeah. You know what? I don't want to touch tips with JetBlue, so I'm gonna reposition here.
So, what do you think of the Max?
I love it. I do. I love it. Whew,
real life, something to be real careful about. See how your engine blast now is going to the into the terminal.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that at the terminal.
No, just for folks, just something we consider. This is big. 35 on your N2 is as high as you want to go on that with the engines pointed toward the terminal or people behind.
Because you can take them out.
This looks awfully green for Buffalo this time of year.
Park the wipers as well. That was cool. A lot of paperwork for, yeah. So you're saying if I tap the brakes, that would have set the auto brake to off? That's a sim?
No, turning the auto brakes off is kind of hard. You've got to really press.
No, he's talking about simism. He's saying if I tap the brakes, it would have taken the auto brake to off. I'm thinking that's a simism. But
in the real jet, you got to stand on the brakes pretty hard to get those things to kick off.
Oh, so you do stand on the brakes to get the RTO to kick off in the really?
Yeah. As the auto brakes are kicking in, I'm trying to override them.
Does it physically change the switch from 2 to off?
Yeah, it'll click off. It'll click.
Oh.
And actually, no, it doesn't. I take that back. It does not click. No, the switch will stay in the position, but only the auto brake disarm light will come on.
Oh.
And then, as part of the FO's flow, when he's taxiing clears, he's got to take the switch physically.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to do a lot of stuff from memory. All right, for folks in chat, do you like the commentary or is it distracting?
Yeah. I should have had the taxi light off coming in to the gate. Blinded the guys. We'll do it. It's great. It says C.A. Kaduk. Tarb loves it. Cajun's inspiring. X-Plane 1972. See all that love the commentary. It's bonus. It's awesome. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. It's like...
I think you guys need to give Prozac 919 a subscribe then.
Are you not a sub right now?
No, I'm a sub. I'm just joking because I don't do Twitch at all except for like this.
That's good. Oh, my reflections are finally toned down. All right, let's do a replay. Oh, who won the landing rate? Let's go back up there. Mitchy Mitch won. Rock'em Sock'em loves it. Loves the real world feedback. Yeah. Cool Zebra says it's awesome. Yeah, I agree. 333 to Mitchy Mitch. There we go. I think it's a...
I'll answer Mitchy Mitch's question. The engines take a long time because there's an intentional bow. There's a in the core of the engine. And for some reason, when the engines are shut down, that thing's got a bow in it. But when the engines are turning, after it heats up, that bow comes out. They take a long time because you've got to motor the engines for about 90 seconds to 3 minutes to heat them up enough. And just for some reason, I don't know why it works. I'm not an aeronautical engineer, nor am I a thermodynamics guy. But for some reason, the motoring the engine without throwing gas to it heats it up enough to where that bow in the shaft straightens out. So that's why we have to do it. I assume it has something to do with just the efficiency of the engine.
I have a feeling this landing is going to look awful just because I didn't have that feel of how much I'm crabbing on landing.
John, what's a good landing?
Where we walk away.
Good landing is 5 knots below VREF on touchdown.
Hey, look at
that. Between the main gear and in the first 1,500 feet, that's a good landing.
And yeah, that's a good landing.
And you don't drop the oxygen mask in the passenger compartment.
Yeah. That's quite the crosswind. Wow. Wow, that was a crosswind if I've ever seen one. Looks better than it felt. You got to visit the attorney there. Explain. The most critical view is going to be this one coming in. It's going to show the real Monty of how much we side loaded the gear. I think the spoilers kicked in when I toggled reversers. Oh, it's gonna disguise whether or not that was a good landing on with the moisture. Woo! Let's see what the tower saw. Got her down pretty quick, actually. Mm-hmm. And then I think spoilers are up. Let's find out when they came up. Hold on. Right here.
Yeah, RL, they'd be deploying before you touch down.
Yeah, so they deployed when the reversers came out, or when the reversers engaged. Boom, spoilers were up. Yeah.
Yeah, the other jets, the 700s and the 800s, as soon as there's weight on those main gears, the spoilers pop. Once there's weight on the nose gear, then the full ground spoilers. Now you can deploy the reverses in flight up to 10 feet radar altimeter. Nobody does that. That's a warning to be careful of.